Yo, what's good? It's Skano. So, apparently there was another mass shooting, school shooting in Madison, Wisconsin. What is it with this phenomenon? This, it's not a trend. This is a cultural, you know, characteristic of Americans. You don't hear about this happening in other. I know it does occur from time to. It does not happen at the level that it happens here. Now, I know other countries have access to firearms. People are going to say, well, it's too many guns out there. America is just proliferated with guns and woo woo, but and that's very well true, but I'm pretty sure these other countries have guns too. But nowhere like America does gun violence occur on the level that it occurs, and not just amongst, everyday adults, but, you know, dating back as far as the 70s. It didn't get much press back then, but school shootings have been occurring since the 70s pretty much. It's just ramped up more. And with social media, we see, we hear about it more often, but obviously. But what is this? You know, so a little details emerging from this story coming out of Wisconsin. Now, there's some confliction with the individual who committed the shooting. I'm hearing that it was a female, yet this individual's first name was Jeff. So I'm going to make a leap and deduction and say that this individual is probably transgender. And although I'm speculating, that kind of gives me some idea of what may have prompted this person to commit the shooting. So I think 19 people were shot. At this time, I think one person unalive. But off the rip, my mind is like probably catching hell, bullying, And like I said, there has been no details emerging as to what prompted it, but typically you don't come to school and shoot up your classmates unless you really despise them on a deep personal level. And it's usually the misfits, the outcast, the not cool people, or whatever. The weak people, the meek people. You got three types of people. You got people that deal with bullying, take it for what it is, man. They navigate around it the best they can. They deal with it the best they can, but they don't let it consume them and overwhelm them, you know. And as they develop and grow into adults, they move on and they forget about it. They put it in, it's like they don't give it a second thought. And they live pretty much normal lives, or whatever normal is. And you got the second type of person who's more humble, more meek, I should say, passive. They tend to internalize, bullying, get depressed, anxiety. They may have violent thoughts, but like I said, they don't act on them. They tend to generally end up harming themselves, either substance abuse or, physically. Um, and these people, as they grow into adults, who knows, these could be, a lot of these individuals, and I'm, like I said, more fascinated with the darker aspect of human nature, so I kind of delved into a lot of serial killers and their background. A lot of them were either abused or bullied. So you have people that when they feel powerless as a child, but as they become adults, they still have that rage in them, man. And they may not manifest where they lash out, but it will manifest itself in other ways, destructive ways, maybe. But the third type of person, That's the type of person that will lash out. And majority of these school shooters. Now, I'm not going to say every school shooter was bullied, but most of them probably feel ostracized or on the outside looking in, not part of the social construct as far as, you know, how that go. As far as high school, even adults actually, do this fraternizing. But on the outside looking in and then catching hell, and maybe they are, not combative in a sense, I would say. They may not be able to deal with it as far as physically fight back. So they bury that. They internalize that anger, that rage, that shame until they reach that breaking point, right? Because everybody got a breaking point. You may just not have reached yours, or you may just not have been put in a situation where, so like I said, this third type, when they reach that breaking point, and I'm not saying, it may be a decision that's consciously made months prior. You've already subconsciously or consciously decided in your mind that you are going to, they need to pay, they need to be punished. And, these fantasies, these violent fantasies that consume this person's mind, at some point will become a reality. So when they go to, it's not just like, this is practice in the mind first. It's going to be replayed, like I said, fantasized. And so at the point when they do snap and they move, and people wonder, that's how, when they go to commit these atrocities, if you want to call them atrocities, it seems like they're just on autopilot because they have already done that in their mind thousands of times. You understand? So at that point, whenever they decide, it's just like playing out a role that you've already. I think as a society, I think America just generally, our society is callous, insensitive, narcissistic, and I'm not saying no particular socio-economic, I'm just saying across the board. Now, obviously, not everyone falls into, but we know how generally just moving around in public, you kind of you know what I'm talking about. People are just generally assholes, for no reason, and if you come from the places like the Midwest, where that's more of a culture, is like the general vibe. I've been in other cities in the South where it's completely different, and it's like, so, well, that's that. But as far as I believe this person probably was bullied because of their sexual orientation, or what they identify as, I should say. And that's, like I said, that's just me theorizing. There could be any reason why, of course. But we have a problem with, like I said before, the fraternizing. And this is for young people in high school who are, social butterflies. Be careful. Just be careful what you say and how you treat people. You have the popular crowd, and you have, like I said, the misfits, the outcasts, and people don't generally pay them any attention until, they want to, like I said, give them a little hell. But be careful. Be careful, because, like I said, you don't know what's going through these people's mind, and I think that's karma anyway. I think it's disgusting that people will click up, gang up, and torment, you know, somebody that's different than them, weaker than them. It's cowardly. It's despicable. And when things like this happen, you know, that's karma. But not if the people that didn't, you know, the people that perpetrated the bullying, if they didn't receive their karma, then it's just a tragedy. If you come in and you just spraying down whoever there and, you know, with random people, because a lot of times with the Columbine thing, they just, I mean, everybody they came across got it. I think they let one guy he was cool with. He said, "Yo, you cool." And dude had recounted this, you know, afterward in this, you know, looked at him, you cool with me. And they general persona was just it was like they was doing something so casual and mundane, like just, you know. And that's what I was saying, man. When you practice, go over something in your mind enough, it when you actually commit it. But as far as the mass shootings, man, shit doesn't happen anywhere else like it happens here. You could say it's too many guns, it's a gun control issue. I don't believe it's a gun control issue. I think people need to control their mouth and control their attitude and be cognizant, you know, how you treat people. But nah, you know, in American culture, for some reason, we seem to think, you know, being an asshole, I don't know what it is about Americans. Everybody want to be tough. Everybody want to be a gangster. It's a toxic society, you know, a toxic society. So, you know, and like I said, man, these things they are going to occur from time to time. Actually, when I did the research, we only hear about the shootings they want to publicize. This happens way more often than I actually thought. School shootings happen just almost as much as shootouts in the hood, damn near. But they don't publicize that. There's an issue with our culture and society in general. Like I said, man, be careful how you treat people. I've said this before, you know, and because you never know, man, when somebody is right there. And all you gotta do is tap that envelope, give it one more little, it's off the edge, and there you go. It is what it is. 216 Skano. You already know.